Afternoon everyone, this is our fifth lecture on complex number. Now we will see the exponential form of complex number. When x and y, which are belonging to the set of real number r, then the complex number can be represented by the z is equals to x plus iy. And the polar form of that complex number x plus iy should be in the form of r into cos theta plus I sin theta. What about r and theta? Where that r is equals to under root of x square plus y square. That r is called as a mod of that complex number z, and theta is equals to tan inverse of y by x, and theta is called as a amplitude of that complex number z. Therefore that z can be written in the form of r into e raised to I theta. What about that e raised to I theta? That e raised to I theta is nothing but a cos theta plus I sin theta. Therefore that above term r into cos theta plus I sin theta can be written in this form r into e raised to I theta. As we know, the expansion of that e raised to x, that e raised to x can be expressed in the form of series of x, that is 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial plus x raised to the power 4 by 4 factorial and so on. So in place of e raised to x, if that x is replaced by ix, so what happen in the series, that in each term of that x is replaced by ix. Here is also x square is replaced by ix whole square, then x cube is replaced by ix whole cube and so on. Now if you simplify that expansion of e raised to ix, that means the real part and imaginary part. So 1 plus ix as it is, here we know that ix square, that is I square x square, and I square is nothing but a minus, so it become x square by 2 factorial. Then next I cube is a I into I square, I remain as it is and I square is a minus, so it can be written as minus of I x cube by 3 factorial, and I raised to the power 4 is nothing but minus 1 into minus 1, so it become a plus, and here is x raised to the power 4 by 4 factorial and so on. Now if you separate that terms in the real and imaginary part, that is a term with I and term without I, so in this way we get that two series. In the first part there is 1 minus x square by 2 factorial plus x raised to the power 4 by 4 factorial plus and so on, plus I into the terms x minus x cube by 3 factorial plus x raised to the power 5 by 5 factorial and so on. Now if you see that series, that is nothing but a series for cos x, and I into that another series, it is for a sin x. So we can write that two terms in the form of cos x plus I sin x, and therefore e raised to ix can be expressed in the form of cos x plus I sin x. Similarly, in place of e raised to ix there is a e raised to minus ix, so that term can be written as cos x minus I sin x. Now if you add that two terms e raised to ix and e raised to minus ix, so it gives e raised to ix plus e raised to minus ix, as well as their RHS also get added here. When you add that RHS here, I sin x and minus I sin x get cancelled, and cos x plus cos x, so it become a 2 cos x. When you subtract that two terms, that is e raised to ix minus e raised to minus ix, in that case cos x get cancelled and we get 2I sin x. So from that two result, we can write cos x is equals to e raised to ix plus e raised to minus ix by 2, and sin x is equals to e raised to ix minus e raised to minus ix by 2i. In this way we can write the tan x, as we know that tan x is equals to sin x upon cos x, and therefore we put that both value of sin x and cos x here. So we get the tan x as e raised to ix minus e raised to minus ix upon I into in bracket e raised to ix plus e raised to minus ix, and cot x is nothing but a cos x upon sin x, so we can write that cot x in this way. So that gives the relation between exponential and circular function. Next we see the hyperbolic. Here also we can write the sec x. Sec x is nothing but 1 upon cos x, and therefore it is 2 upon e raised to ix plus e raised to minus ix, and cosec x is a 1 upon sin x, so it can be written as 2I upon e raised to ix minus e raised to minus ix. Now we see the hyperbolic function. Let x belongs to R, that is set of real number, then e raised to x plus e raised to minus x by 2 is called as cosine hyperbolic function of x, and is denoted by cos hx. Therefore the cos hx is equals to e raised to x plus e raised to minus x by 2. Similarly, e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2 is called sine hyperbolic function of x, and sine hx is denoted by e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2. Now we can write also the tan hx. Now tan hx is nothing but a sin hx upon cos hx, and therefore its value is e raised to x minus e raised to minus x upon e raised to x plus e raised to minus x. Cot hx is equals to cos hx upon sin hx, and therefore that is equals to e raised to x plus e raised to minus x upon e raised to x minus e raised to minus x. Sec hx is equals to 1 upon cos hx, so that is equals to 2 upon e raised to x plus e raised to minus x. Cosec hx is equals to 1 upon sin hx, so that can be written as 2 upon e raised to x minus e raised to minus x. So in this way we see the hyperbolic function, and now we see the relation between that circular function and hyperbolic function. As we know that sin x can be written in the form of e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2. If in that sin x, that x is replaced by ix, so what happened here? Here in that term, that also x is replaced by ix. When you replace that x by ix, so it become a I square. So in this way we get sin of ix is equals to e raised to I square x minus e raised to minus, here is also x is replaced by ix, so it become I square upon here 2i. Here is also 2i. Now I square is nothing but a minus, so it can be written as e raised to minus x. Here is also I square is equals to minus, but there is already minus, so minus minus become plus, and it become a minus e raised to x upon 2i. So sin ix value is in this way. So sin ix is equals to, finally if you take a minus sign common here, so take a minus sign, so that minus of e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2i, that is in this way, that is minus e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2i. Now I is minus is nothing but I square, so we that replace minus sign by I square. Here is a e raised to x minus e raised to minus x upon 2i. Now one I get cancelled with that numerator of the denominator, so when I get a cancel in numerator, there is remaining a single I, and denominator I get cancelled. So I into e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2. Now if you see that term only other than I, that is e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2, this is nothing but the value of sin hx. So we can write I sin hx, and here is a sin of ix. So sin of ix can be written in the form of I sin hx. That is called as a relation between hyperbolic and circular function. Similarly, we get the relation of that cos of ix is equals to cos hx in this way. Then also tan ix can be written as I tan hx. Cot ix can be written as minus of I cot hx. Sec ix is equals to sec hx, and cosec ix is equals to minus I cosec hx. There are some standard results which are useful for our problems, that is cos h square x minus sin h square x is equals to 1 minus tan h square x is equals to sec h square x, cot h square x minus 1 is equals to cosec h square x, then sin h of x plus minus y is equals to sin hx cos hy plus minus cos hx sin hy. Cos h in bracket x plus minus y is equals to cos hx cos hy plus minus sin hx sin hy. Sin h2x is nothing but a, that is equals to 2 sin hx cos hx, and cos h2x is equals to cos h square x plus sin h square x. These are some important results for a hyperbolic function. It gives a relation between the hyperbolic function. And next we see the inverse hyperbolic function. If x belongs to R and y is equals to sin hx, then that x is called as a inverse sine hyperbolic function of y and is denoted by sin h inverse of y. Therefore x is equals to sin h inverse of y. Similarly, we can define cos h inverse of y, tan h inverse of y, cot h inverse of y, sec h inverse of y, and cosec h inverse of y. So in this way we have seen hyperbolic function and inverse hyperbolic function. as well as exponential function, circular function. We see the problems which are based on that functions. So here we have proved that 1 plus cos alpha plus I sin alpha upon 1 minus cos alpha plus I sin alpha is equals to cot alpha by 2 into e raised to I of alpha minus pi by 2. So we can see how to solve that problem. We consider here the LHS of the given problem. Here the LHS is 1 plus cos alpha plus I sin alpha upon 1 minus cos alpha plus I sin alpha. Now as in that result there is a half angle of alpha, that is alpha by 2. So there is one hint for us to solve the problem, that we have to convert that alpha into half angle. So we have to relation that we know that 1 plus cos alpha is nothing but a 2 cos square alpha by 2. So we write that 1 plus cos alpha as a 2 cos square alpha by 2 plus I as it is. Again we have to convert sin alpha into half angle, that is that sin alpha can be written as 2 sin alpha by 2 cos alpha by 2. So 2 sin alpha by 2 cos of alpha by 2. In denominator again we convert in half angle. 1 minus cos alpha can be written as 2 sin square of alpha by 2, and again that sin alpha can be written as 2 sin alpha by 2 cos of alpha by 2. Now if you see in numerator and denominator, what we take a common? From the numerator we take a 2 into cos alpha, and from the denominator we take a common 2 into sin alpha by 2 from the denominator term and 2 cos alpha by 2 from the numerator. So we write here common term, that is 2 cos of alpha by 2. Now when you take a 2 cos alpha by 2 from these two terms, so what is remaining here? Here is remaining only cos alpha by 2 plus I into, when you take here common 2 cos alpha by 2, so remaining only sin alpha by 2. And in denominator, from the denominator we take a 2 sin alpha by 2 common, this 2 sin alpha by 2 in bracket. Here is remaining a sin alpha by 2 sin alpha by 2 plus I, and here is remaining a cos alpha by 2. So that is equals to 2 get cancelled, cos alpha by 2 sin alpha by 2 is nothing but a cot of alpha by 2. Now if you see the numerator, it is in the form of cos theta plus I sin theta. Simply in place of theta there is alpha by 2. So we can write that term in the form of exponential, that is e raised to the power I alpha by 2. But the denominator is not in the form of cos theta plus I sin theta. There is sin alpha by 2 plus I into cos alpha by 2. But we can convert in the form of cos and sin. So we can write that sin in terms of cos. It can be written as cos of pi by 2 minus alpha by 2 plus I into, that cos can be converted into sin as a sin of pi by 2 minus alpha by 2, and therefore it convert in the form of cos theta plus I sin theta. Simply in the form of theta there is a pi by 2 minus alpha by 2. So again we simplify that. There is a cot alpha by 2 as it is, e raised to I alpha by 2 also as it is. What about that? As it is in the form of cos theta plus I sin theta, again it is in the form of e raised to I theta. So e raised to I, in place of theta there is a pi by 2 minus alpha by 2. So that can be written as pi by 2 minus alpha by 2. And that term we transfer to numerator. So it can be written as cot of alpha by 2. Here is a e raised to I alpha by 2, e raised to minus of I into pi by 2 minus alpha by 2. So cot alpha by 2 as it is, e raised to I, we take a common here, and we add all the term as base is same, so we can add the power. Here is alpha by 2, here is a minus pi by 2, and here is a minus minus become plus alpha by 2. So that term is in this form. So part of alpha by 2, here is a e raised to the power I, we take a common. As we know that alpha by 2 plus alpha by 2 is nothing but alpha, so it can be written as alpha minus pi by. So finally what we write, that we can write 1 plus cos alpha plus I sin alpha upon, in denominator there is a 1 minus cos alpha plus I sin alpha, and that is equals to cot alpha by 2 plus e raised to I into alpha minus pi by 2. And that result which we have proved this result. I hope you understand that problem. If you like my video, then share and subscribe it. Thank you.